a quarterback the Niners can target that no one is talking about. Literally no one. This is a guy that we mentioned last week. It's the guy that we bonded over. He is a very interesting project, and now he's third string again on Indianapolis. What do you think the Niners have to give up to get Jacob Eason, and is he worth it?
I don't know because, I think he's worth it. But I was thinking the Colts had to push the boat out to get their new quarterback. I think they gave up two firsts.
They gave up a third and a conditional second that could turn into a first.
Okay, all right. So
yes,
Jacob Eason's path is blocked, right? He's done basically at this point. They've got in a young starter. They paid a big price for him, and Eason was a fourth rounder. But the guy has first round talent. I mean, he was the number 1 overall quarterback prospect in the draft in his year. He's from my town.
Coming out of high school, right?
A whole bunch. Yeah, his dad was an NFL player.
That's right.
You know, he went to Georgia, and in the SEC, he was, I think, 9-5 his first year, and he did really well.
Freshman, no?
True freshman, yeah. And I think I showed you that pass he threw against Tennessee to win a game in the last seconds. It went 75 yards in the air on a dart, laser. One of the best throws I've ever seen. I think you probably agree. From there, he got injured, and then Jake Fromm took over. There's no reason he wouldn't have been starting at Georgia and been a first-round pick. He came to Washington. We had a crap team that year, and he slipped to the fourth round. But the guy's got arm talent. He's 6'6". He's 235, and he's on a rookie deal. So and the Colts probably want to get back some picks because they just spent some. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, I think they got him in the fourth round last year. They might trade him for a fifth. And what I think about Eason is he's a lot like Josh Rosen. I mean, Josh Rosen was the number 1 recruit out of high school, the number 1 quarterback out of high school. Eason was the number 1 quarterback out of high school. Neither one moves that well. Both of them have cannons. But the thing about Eason is it's way stronger than Josh Rosen's arm. It's the Josh Allen level. It's the John Elway level. It's the Matthew Stafford level. I'm not saying he's a project, but he throws that hard.
Yeah.
So of all the people that you're not thinking about, I think Eason is a great option. If you could get him for a fifth, I would be into that. I think he actually has serious upside.
Yeah, I think that, even if they ask for a fourth just to get what their sunk cost is in him, you might be able to do that. And then you got him on a rookie deal, and you have a chance of winning the lottery with him. You really do, because he's got the skills.
Yeah, and if you have him and Josh Rosen in camp competing, one of them should emerge. They're both highly talented, and you put them on this team with this coaching staff and playmakers, it'd be interesting. Yeah, I'm really.
We're still wondering if Josh Rosen can compete, though. Do you think that guy can compete?
I don't know. Who knows? I think it's just worth it to give him some reps in minicamp just to see.
For sure.
Just give him a shot. It doesn't hurt anyone in May. Let's come back to Easton real quick. You said you watched him in high school. Can you explain that a little bit and what your impression of him was back then?
Yeah, I was running a newspaper here in town at the time, and we loved football up here, just like anyone else. So that was a big part of our coverage. So I would be at the game every Friday night, and I saw him play since he was in 6th grade. He'd be up on the field above the stadium, chucking the ball around. His dad's an NFL player, Tony Eason. He made it to camp, I think, but he played at Notre Dame. And so he was out there with Jacob, and Jacob was throwing lasers when he was 12 years old. So I watched him go through that. And then when he came, and Lake Stevens High School is the biggest high school in Washington State. And so it's it's good competition. And so he started as a freshman, and he was super skinny. That's why his handle on Twitter is Skinny QB10, I think. But he grew up into, 6'6", 235, like I said, and he just lasered through the competition. He got an arm like I've never seen. He's a really nice person, and he's dedicated. His teammates loved him, and I followed him through Georgia, and then he came back up to UW, and I saw him play a ton there. I just think that the guy's got a chance. I'm not saying that he's a sure thing, but he shouldn't have been a 4th-round pick. Like his career up to that point was of a first-rounder. If you're starting at Georgia as a true freshman and you lead them to a bunch of victories in the SEC, that's your resume. He just had some bad luck, and he hasn't had a chance in the NFL yet. So,
we both at the time said we liked him better than Jordan Love, who went round 1.
Yes.
And I still feel that way. And then the funny thing about it is, look, Justin Herbert ended up being a total baller, and he really improved during his time at Oregon. But we both said it, if Herbert and Eason had both gone to Oregon and whenever after high school, Eason would have been the starter.
No question. Yeah, no question.
So that just shows you the type of pedigree he has. That's not everything. What were you gonna say?
I always like these guys whose dads have played in the NFL
Yes.
or the NBA.
Yes.
Like your Klay Thompsons, your Steph Currys, right? They
Nick
come from a
Bosa,
lineage of doing this.
Patrick
They were
Mahomes.
raised that way.
Yeah, the
Exactly.
bloodline.
Patrick Mahomes. Jacob Eason is like that.
Yep. Yep. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. That's all I had to say about him is that he's a hell of a player. He would have been a starter, maybe at Oregon, maybe at. I mean, and the thing is, this is what I want to finish off on. So he goes to Washington. It's not worth his time. He leaves after his junior year. A lot of times, NFL teams crush a kid who leaves after his junior year unless he's a baller. And what they said is he didn't do well in his meetings. What does that mean? Do you know what that means?
He's kind of like I don't know what it means, but if I had to guess, I'd say he's kind of got like a spur personality. Like he's
okay. So
kind
it's
of
like he didn't have the
really
face
calm.
of a franchise personality kind of
thing. But I can tell you that he was the captain of the team in high school. All the guys loved him, and he doesn't shy away from anything, contact or anything like that. It's not like he's soft. He's just like I don't know. He just comes across as somebody who's really easygoing. So maybe I said he's not dumb. I know that. I saw his transcripts coming out of high school. He had the 3.8 or something like that.
See, this is why I'm into the whole like Moneyball approach at quarterback. People don't want to spend on running backs. I don't want to spend on quarterbacks because there are guys like this out there. Jacob Eason, who people have given up on. What is he, 23? Josh Rosen, totally given up on. Like, really? Wow. Let's give that guy a shot as opposed to trading every single asset in the world for Justin Fields, who would have been Jacob Eason's backup at Georgia.
He was
Jacob Fromm's absence. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Jacob, Eason beat out Fromm and all those guys. But the other thing is about why he left after his junior year. Remember, he had to sit out for a full year to transfer to UW.
That's right. So you don't want to get too old.